Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Aries on October 13th, 2019. So this full moon is going to be very transformational. The last full moon we had in Pisces a month ago was at the very end of the zodiac. And now coming into the first sign of the zodiac, it's like that was going through a threshold of, dying off from the last chapter that we had in our life. And this full moon in Aries, full moons are usually endings, but this full moon is also bringing with it new beginnings, tied into the Libra new moon. We're having newer understandings and perspective shifts on relationships, on relationship to our life purpose as well. There's a lot of activity and conversations going on with all the energy in Capricorn. Okay, so let's dive into these aspects. I'm going to pull up the chart here, and we're going to see what's going on. So, first thing I see when I look at this is just chaos, right? But there's a divine order to the chaos, and that's what I feel like this full moon is sort of bringing into light. And 20 degrees is highly significant because it is conjunct the asteroid Aries, which is outside of Pluto, and that asteroid is at 23 degrees, which is just it's going to go by this in an hour or two. So the energy of the moon moves very fast. So Aries is like that. It's similar to like a black moon Lilith energy, but it's more like okay, are you going to keep sitting around and just letting your life pass you by? You're seeing all these things, all these signs, all these indications. Like, let's get up and let's go. Let's change shit. Let's make it happen. Stop being a fucking pussy, basically. Pardon my language, but that's what this energy is saying to us. Like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop playing the victim. Stop sabotaging yourself. Now get your ass up and go make your dreams happen. And that may look different than what you thought it would look like. And with Jupiter moving now towards, in the last decan of Sagittarius, this is like, all right, we need to get these belief systems, in check. Because, the ninth house is our belief systems, it's spirituality. So, Jupiter being its home sign, it's bringing up all these self-limiting belief systems that are getting in our way of our dreams. And I'm a Capricorn, so I'm especially prone to this. Like, we like control. We like to understand what's going on. We like to know where we're going. And this energy is like, you ain't going to know. You don't know what's going to be best for you right now, because this is a period of destruction, of breaking things down to rebuild it a new way. And our consciousness isn't in that place yet to have that. So Jupiter is forcing and purging out all of these self-limiting belief systems. So we may believe that things have to be done a certain way, but the universe is like, no, there's a better way. And so what do we do when we don't really have a clue, what that is in the future? We have to step into that unknown, and that's very uncomfortable. But the process of doing that is not to really take action per se, it's to sit back. But when you're sitting back, doing the work in the present, like I did a spiritual retreat this last weekend, and I noticed, well, it was brought to my attention, and I noticed that, instead of sitting there with stillness and doing my own work and being a student, I'm always trying to be the teacher. So I was trying to help other people and show them what they were doing wrong, instead of looking within myself and being still and feeling what I'm doing right for me, like self-care, because, that's one way that I distract myself. And maybe that's a way that you distract yourself, right? Because we think, okay, we want to be of service. Well, how can we be of complete and full service if we are not taking care of ourselves? And what does taking care of ourselves mean? It means that we have to be present, and we have to do our own work as the student. And then when the time is right, when our cup is full, to go forward and be the teacher and student at the same time. It's like blending the masculine, the divine masculine and divine feminine energies together. But this is all internal. It's about the intention. What is your intention behind helping other people? Is it to distract yourself from your own work? like spiritual bypassing, or is it because you're in a good spiritual place and you want to help people out, just to be of service from a good, full, positive place? Okay. So we have the moon at 20 degrees, 13 minutes. This will be full exactly at 2:08 p.m. And that's Pacific Standard Time. And the sun is at 20 degrees of Libra. Now, Mars is at 6 degrees of Libra. Now, Mars doesn't like being in Libra because it wants to go. It's the warrior. It's making shit happen. But in Libra, it's like, okay, now I have to consider everybody else. You know, we have this sort of humanitarian idea. And so Mars being in Libra can be a little frustrating, be a little confusing, get a little passive aggressive. Okay. We get sidetracked into what it is that what our goals are and what we really meant to do, because we're like, oh shit, like now, like this warrior part of me, and there's also divine masculine too. So it's like that confusion is going to be bringing out the toxicity in the divine masculine, and it is also aspecting Uranus and of course Chiron, right? So those are two very intense energies. Mars in detriment opposed Uranus. This is all about self-worth, right? You know, I'm sorry, it's a quincunx to Uranus, but still it's about self-worth, because Uranus is in Taurus. And so, you know, what is making us feel worthy? What is in our behavior patterns that is contradicting that worthiness or that self-confidence? Where are we compensating with our ego? And, you know, everybody does it, right? So we have to have the heart-centered emotional fortitude to be honest with ourselves and go forward. This is a real, like I think of the word chin check, right? Like back in the, you know, 90s, you know, hip hop, you know, I'm chin checking. Like this is, you know, checking yourself so you don't keep wrecking yourself. All right. And because all of us in one way, shape, or form are kind of screwing ourselves over and not living our best life. And that's what this whole Saturn-Pluto thing is all about. And now that Saturn and Pluto are direct, it's slowly coming into this conjunction point in January 2020. And now they're just inching closer and closer. And as they get closer, this energy is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And with each new and full moon, the lessons are going to get deeper and deeper and more transformative. And it can break us down, and it can make us, you know, feel like we're going to lose everything. But this is that process of transformation. So we have to learn, and, you know, I'm talking to myself too. We have to learn to let go. We have to learn to be okay with whatever is happening. And we have to learn to, you know, avoid, you know, get away from toxic people, toxic situations, toxic things, right? Take care of ourselves. This is all about, you know, because right now, if we don't take care of ourselves, we are going to start to have serious issues, because this is purging and pushing us to our limits. Because the energy is saying, like, look, you are going to be the best version of yourself. And if you don't push yourself, we're going to do it for you. This is like constant tower moments. Okay. So honor thyself, honor your heart, honor what you really love and need to do. You know, you may have to make some major changes in your life. And this Aries full moon is going to bring those like epiphanies, like, wow, I had no idea. This is crazy. Right. So keep that in mind. And, you know, of course, we have an exact, we have a T-square here, and it's exact to Pluto. The sun is exactly square Pluto, 20 degrees. Pluto is exactly square the moon at 20 degrees. And then the moon is exactly opposite sun, as all full moons are. Wow. Pluto has just been playing a major role this entire year, but this right here, having a T-square exactly at the same degree. I mean, so Pluto has its full force energy, you know, going into the sun and the moon, which is the two main parts of our consciousness. And it's saying, like, look, you will transform. Pluto is death and rebirth. It's the shit that we don't want to look at. It's the excavation of the deep, dark stuff that, you know, that is the shame, that is the guilt, that is the fear, that is the insecurity, that is the jealousy in our consciousness that just wants to hold on for dear life. And the more things that we do to perpetuate that holding on to it, you know, the darker and nastier it's going to be. So, you know, Pluto is intense. We have to take care of ourselves. But, you know, we do have a kite here, if you can see. You know, we have a trine between Venus and Black Moon Lilith and Neptune, of course. They're still loosely conjunct. So, you know, Neptune rules Pisces, and then of course Venus and Scorpio is at detriment. You know, Venus, because you know Scorpio is deep. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Scorpio likes to get into things, and Venus is just like, I just want to love and be happy. You know, it's happy in Taurus and in Libra, where it can just shine itself on more of like a, not a superficial level, but a more on a surface level, where, you know, Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, it gets so deep that we can look too deep into things, right? We're already excavating all this other stuff. So now the Venus, that divine feminine energy, is going to be going in, and you could be having conversations with people and be reading into them too much, or being, you know, starting to question, you know, your own intuition, your own guidance. Like, but this trine is saying, like, you know, it's okay to dissolve. It's okay to let go, because when you let go, the answers will become more clear. It's just the act of letting go is a little more difficult now with all these aspects going on. But we also have, let's see, we have the Sun sextile Jupiter, which is absolutely amazing. You know, last month we had Venus sextile Jupiter, which is a great sign. That brought in some good stuff, right? And we need that good stuff right now. We need that support. We need the things that are coming into our lives that are helping to support our positive and growth-oriented belief systems. Okay, and Jupiter's flying now, right? Pretty soon, in the next, you know, month and a half or so, it's going to be at the galactic center. So, you know, this is preparing us to really come into ourselves, because once Jupiter goes into Capricorn, say, all right, that's your beliefs. Then now the unconscious is going to settle back in, and that's our belief systems, and that's where we're going to stay. Okay. We also have a quincunx from Black Moon Lilith over to the Sun. That Black Moon Lilith, you know, even though it's right next to Jupiter, this conjunction is exactly to Black Moon Lilith. So I mean, this quincunx rather. So, you know, with all the other aspects going on, this could give things sort of like a manipulative kind of tone to it. You know, people may be trying to manipulate us, or we could be trying to manipulate situations for our optimal outcome, right? Because things are really tough right now. So, you know, if we find ourselves, you know, trying to do things that are just not working, if you keep fighting it, you may try to manipulate your way in, but what is that going to get you, right? The key is that if shit ain't working, stop trying to force it to work. Look for another way. And it's not necessarily running away. It's realizing and seeing, hey, look, this ain't working, dude. Like if you're in a relationship, or if you're in a job and business, and it's just like things just keep getting worse and worse, you have to remove the toxic situations in life. And, you know, I mean, we all have a situation, well, at least I have a situation in my life even that, you know, sometimes like if you have children with someone, or if you're in like a business relationship, like you can't just walk away from that. But can you? You may have to. And trust that, you know, things are going to come around, and as long as you're making the changes in your best interest, as long as we have our own best interest at heart, you know, and we're coming from a place of integrity and love and gratitude, then whatever's going on, things are going to come around, but they may not happen in the time that we want it. This is about trusting in divine timing. Okay, so I want to read the degree of this full moon. First, I'm going to read the degree of the sun, because I find that for full moons, the degree of the sun and the moon is pertinent. So this is the degree of the sun. This is a man with a single horn coming out of his forehead. Oh, that's exciting. When the multisensory faculties are fully in place, worlds open, time stretches, the wonder is born. There has been something missing, something vital forgotten. You are called up to make the difference. Living on the threshold, more magical than can be thought of or kept track of. A rapture of multidimensional discovery. Release into the infinite. You cross over and are never the same, seeing what truly is in all of its glory, and coming in fullness in time to claim the timeless ways once again on the next spiral. The rarest of natures is peeking out from behind a picture book and manifesting an ordinary life with extraordinary clarity. So this is a time of massive clarity, which is a good thing, but that clarity can be very difficult to process because it maybe bring our awareness to things that we really don't want to see, like, you know, all these different aspects of ourselves that we've been sort of lying to ourselves about, or just living, you know, essentially a lie compared to the life that we really want to live, but we haven't known how to up until now. You know, we don't know until we know. You know, it sounds kind of cliche, but you know, it's the truth. So let's go to Aries, 20 degrees of Aries. And 20 degrees of Aries is an empty courtyard. Nothing is left. Reality is scattered. Self-obliterated. The familiar rendered irrelevant. Apocalyptic changes, personal and collective, take over. No being, only action. You become a projectile of intent. Literally identify with what you can do now. A barren wasteland of an inner world. A thrust outside, stark and surreal. You feel compelled to dare, pushed over the edge, no going back, destiny as frenzy. And in this wild, volatile mix, creative forces are realized that would never come out any other way. Yielding to the role of the purging and cleansing agent of changes, you are unable to wriggle out of anything ever again. Well, if that doesn't talk about complete transformation, I don't know what does. This to me has a very Plutonian energy to it. And the fact that it's exactly square to Pluto, literally only 20 minutes off. That's astounding. Change is coming, guys. And there's going to be parts of the change that we don't want to embrace, that we don't want to make. But we have to. Like, there's no other way. This is sort of like, you know, when you want to get a new computer, you're going to get a new nice computer. It's all, you know, hooked up and everything. And you're going to sell your old computer. You have to clear out all the memory, all the stuff, you have to log out of your identity, right? We're logging out of our identity right here, and we're going to purchase a new computer. But there's like a period of time where you sell this, you get the money for it, then you take that money and you go and you get the new computer. And that time is that void space. And that void space is this full moon. But we're going to get a brand new computer with brand new stuff. We're going to have to learn all this new stuff, and it's great, but it's going to be faster, more efficient. It's going to be everything that we've been wanting. All the problems that we've been seeing with the old software, it's dying. It's going away. And we're getting a new computer. We're getting upgrades. But we have to feel that void. We have to feel that space. We have to experience those apocalyptic changes, because it's taking over. And, you know, everything familiar is going away. And when everything familiar, the ego is scraping, scratching, trying to hold on to what it wants to hold on to. And it makes sense in our mind. Our belief systems back it up. And, you know, like everything outside could, you know, fall into, yeah, you're right. You know, this sucks. You're fucked. You're screwed. But, you know, this is again where that faith comes into play. You know, and with Mercury now in Scorpio until December 7th, rather, because it's gonna be going into, it's actually on the 13th, it'll be in shadow, right? It's going into shadow on October 11th. I'm recording this on the 8th. So, you know, Mercury is going to be sitting in this space, and, you know, Scorpio is just that deep, dark gunk. So we're clearing out. This next couple months, man, is going to be so intense. Clearing out and getting rid of the old and just letting it all go, whether we like it or not. Okay. And the communication, like, we're going to hear things that we don't want to hear. We're going to see things that we don't want to see, but we have to see it because we have to change. We have to. There's no other way around it. Okay. So I think that's all I got for you for the full moon. I hope you guys have, you know, a wonderful experience. You know, do your, you know, self-care is important. You know, go meet up with people in a drum circle, be with your soul family, you know, be with people that are supporting your needs and your desires. And, you know, good things are going to come out of this. Very good things. It's just, you know, you got to go through that process of feeling the pain. All right. So I love you guys. I wish you blessings and peace, and I'll see you guys in the next video.